bevo.com.
Andy, you moved IHG away from heavily investing in hotel properties and as assets over to moving your company aligned more with brand management and a franchise operation. Why was that such a strategically important move for you to make?
Well, if you think about the way this model works and you put yourself in the seat of an owner, somebody who owns a hotel, the contract is this, that the owner looks after the fabric, the bricks and mortar, and makes sure it's, you know, fulfilling regulations, that it's up to quality standards and all the rest of it. But we are doing the clever stuff on the demand generation, building yield management programs, revenue driving programs, and building the brands. And we're doing that through ever-increasing technology, which obviously in a more connected age is becoming a big differentiator for how people select their hotel choices. So we're really being able to focus now on a few things that we know make a big difference in how people select their hotels. So that's the way the deal works. The owners look after the bricks and mortar, and we look after the demand side. And being asset light, which means, you know, we've sold the 250 hotels that we owned. We've got down to about 16 now, and that means we're not worrying about, you know, whether the lifts are working and having to repair outside walls or, you know, sort of comply to local planning constraints, because other people are doing that work, and we're focusing just on customer service, brands, and building technology solutions. So it works very well, and I think the whole value chain is better because you've got people looking at different aspects of it and really focusing on driving the value out of those.
And yeah, I understand that the Holiday Inn, in terms of room stays, is by far your biggest brand. So why, in terms of sort of a revenue or profit perspective, did you decide to invest just recently over $1 billion on upscaling the Holiday Inn hotels?
Well, I think the point about Holiday Inn is that, again, it's pushing on your core. It's what I said earlier. You know, making your core strengths better and even stronger is like primary task. So one of the things I was determined to do when I arrived at IHG was to try to take the biggest of our brands, which is the Holiday Inn brand, and it has this extraordinary scale and this extraordinary evocative recall in people's mind as a brand, particularly in America, where obviously it's an icon. But it had lost some of its luster, and not in China where it's brand new, but in America and in parts of Europe, the brand had, in some people's eyes, got a bit, you know, faded a bit and hadn't really been brought up to date. And some of that was true, and some of that was myth. But the problem is, if people have moved away from the brand and they continue to think of it as they remember it in the 70s and 80s, then that's a reality in their mind. So we've created this, what will be and is the biggest ever initiative in the hotel industry, where we are going to are in the process now of relaunching and refurbishing 3,200 Holiday Inns. And there'll be an additional 1,100 that are going to open in new ones in the next 2 or 3 years, which will come out. And it's not just a name change, you know, a sign change, although we've done that. It's we've changed the bed linen, the look of the rooms, the shower and the amenities in the rooms, the external look of the building, the lighting, the drive up. We now have sound and smell as you enter the property. All the staff have gone through a completely refreshed training program, so it feels completely renewed. And that's the first time anyone in the industry has done anything of that magnitude. So it's a very big program. It's over $1 billion of investment that will come mainly from the owner base, who will be making a contribution for each of their hotels. But it's a big program for us, and that's going to take 3 years to complete. But we're sort of just beginning that. So that's a big call for us, and it's going to renew and relaunch the most sort of venerable brand in the market. So,
is there a danger it's going to become more of a prestigious brand and move up a segment, do you think?
Well, we think it has the opportunity to not necessarily move up a segment, but we know Holiday Inn takes a premium against its competitors in the mid-scale segment. But there's quite a gap between the Holiday Inn average rate and the brands that operate in the next segment up, such as Crowne Plaza and other competitors from America where you could name. And there's quite a lot of headroom, we think, for Holiday Inn to climb and to close a bit of that gap. And we think, certainly from the modelling we've done and the tests and research we've done, and from the anecdotal and early evidence we've got from those hotels that have already now changed over to the new look, we think we can actually get an incremental movement on the rate and potentially the occupancy as people just come in and go, wow, this is really, really good. And not how I remembered it. And you've got everything here that these other brands that I'm paying more for down the road have got. And what's more, I like the friendly service. So we do think there's an opportunity, not necessarily to move up a segment, but to actually uptrade guests, a little bit more than they otherwise would within the segment. And that's what marketing is I guess, is about.
Bevo